12 cold-hearted anime characters who don't give a damn about anyone. Some anime characters will utterly astonish you with their cold, cruel behavior. Several anime feature some cold-blooded protagonists, antagonists, and/or ancillary characters who don't give a damn about anyone, but this baker's dozen is the coldest of the bunch. Ice-cold characters aren't just anime personalities who show no emotion, or characters who keep their feelings hidden. On the contrary, some of these ice-cold characters can actually show quite a bit of emotion, while they ruthlessly attack their enemies. These characters with frozen hearts feel anger, sadistic joy, and yes, sometimes sadness when their plans go awry. But they don't feel remorse, and if they do feel empathy, they sure as heck don't act on it. This isn't a list of the best anime characters, it's a collection of the most ruthless. 1. Son Ebisugawa from the Eccentric Family. Son Ebisugawa from the Eccentric Family is a power-hungry businessman whose inferiority complex drives him to do some seriously cold-blooded acts. Jealous feelings toward his older brother Soichiro, given his lofty position in society and marriage to the beautiful Tozen, lead him to help out a group called the Friday Fellows. The Friday Fellows are an exclusive club with a brutal ritual. They kill and eat tanuki, a sentient species to which Son and Soichiro belong. Son helps the group trap, kill, and eat his brother. And later, he goes after Soichiro's son, Yasaburo. 2. Endeavor from My Hero Academia. You might not immediately associate an icy heart with someone who is constantly engulfed in actual flames, but that's Endeavor for you. Endeavor of My Hero Academia is Todoroki's, one of the series' main protagonists' father. His primary goal is surpassing All Might, his superhero rival, and he's willing to go to extreme lengths to achieve this. Said lengths include choosing who to have children with based on their quirk, the in-universe term for superpowers, in the hopes of producing more powerful offspring. Not only does this basically take love out of the equation, it also veers dangerously close to eugenics. Once he actually has a child with the combination of quirks he wants, he has no interest in said child as a person. All he wants, in fact, is for Todoroki to defeat All Might for him. 3. Ragyo Kiryuin from Kill la Kill. Ragyo Kiryuin, the ultimate villain of Kill la Kill, is gunning for world domination with the help of life fibers, or sentient organisms from space. To achieve this goal, she's willing to sacrifice the entire human race. This alone is pretty ice-cold, but it's pretty standard villain behavior. What makes Ragyo unique is that she doesn't even care about her own family. In fact, she tries to genetically engineer a child who can sustain a symbiotic relationship with the life fibers. Despite actually giving birth to these children, she basically throws them in the garbage when they don't meet her expectations. When Satsuki, the daughter she actually raised, turns against her, she's more than happy to try and murder her as well. 4. Gendo Ikari from Neon Genesis Evangelion. Gendo Ikari of Neon Genesis Evangelion is a cold, ruthless man who is one of the worst parents in anime history. He abandons his son Shinji as a toddler, then randomly summons him to pilot a mecha. When Shinji doesn't immediately get with the program, he has no sympathy whatsoever. He couldn't care less about his son's well-being, or anything else that doesn't align with his personal goals. One could argue that Ikari actually does care about some things. After all, his main goal is bringing his wife back from the dead, which indicates that he's capable of love, albeit twisted love. However, he tries to accomplish this goal by sacrificing a clone born of his wife's remains, and when that fails, he attempts to sacrifice his own child. Those aren't exactly the actions of an empathetic man. 5. Johann Liebert from Monster. Johann Liebert, the villain driving the plot of Monster, is a seemingly calm and polite individual. Beneath his pleasant exterior, however, lies the heart of someone who is decidedly evil. Johann doesn't just kill people, he manipulates their circumstances so that they choose to kill themselves. He doesn't appear to enjoy doing this very much, but doesn't seem to be especially devastated by doing so either. Monster never really gives audiences a clear reason as to why Johann is like this. The writers showcase his traumatic backstory, but fans also see his sister experiencing the same things and growing up to be a kind and compassionate person. 6. Danzo Shimura from Naruto. Naruto's Danzo Shimura is one of the most hated characters in all of anime, and for good reason. Although Danzo claims to be acting for the good of the Hidden Leaf Village, his true intentions mostly revolve around gaining personal power. Some of the things he does in service of that power are pretty heinous. For example, Danzo forced a, then, 13-year-old Itachi to choose between killing his entire clan and saving himself and his brother. The reason was to allegedly stop the Uchiha clan from waging civil war, but in reality, Danzo just wanted to harness the power of the Sharingan, the Uchiha's ultimate power. 7. Kyubi from Puella Magi Madoka Magica. Puella Magi Madoka Magica's Kyubi is absolutely adorable, but underneath, that cute cat-like exterior beats the iciest, most uncaring heart you've ever seen. Kyubi offers to grant wishes to young girls in exchange for their service in the fight against witches, but while Kyubi does, indeed, grant those wishes, they often end up making the girls' lives worse, not better. Meanwhile, fighting witches can be a life-threatening, traumatizing task. While Kyubi understands human emotion well enough to manipulate girls into accepting the deal, she doesn't actually care about said deal's impact on their lives. 8. Solf J. Kimberly from Fullmetal Alchemist, Brotherhood. Fullmetal Alchemist, Brotherhood. Solf J. Kimberly is a man who cares more about aesthetics than human life. Much like Deidara from Naruto, Kimberly thinks that explosions are artistically beautiful. Unlike Deidara, Kimberly isn't an angry, easily manipulated teenager with too much power. Kimberly is a full-grown, deeply unsettling man, whose primary goal is creating as many beautiful explosions as possible, regardless of how many people he kills in the process. He believes in survival of the fittest and genuinely enjoys trying to determine who the fittest is. He doesn't particularly care if this process results in his own death, either. Kimberly is not only cold-hearted, he's also completely amoral. 9. Alucard from Hellsing. Hellsing's Alucard is an immortal, invulnerable vampire who isn't really vibing with the whole compassion for others thing. Not only is he 100% fine with assisting a vampire hunting organization in taking down his own kind, he does it with pleasure. He kills with abandon, for reasons that include feeding, fun, and avenging insults. His humanity occasionally peeks through, but for the most part, Alucard is a cold-blooded murderer. 10. Shogo Makishima from Psycho Pass. Shogo Makishima, the antagonist of the deeply thought-provoking series Psycho Pass, is a complex character who does genuinely care about the world he lives in. Said world is controlled by the Sibyl system, which seeks to eliminate crime by tracking down people who might commit them, and either killing them or forcing them into mandated therapy. Makishima seeks to dismantle this system. If you haven't seen Psycho Pass, you might be wondering why someone with such a seemingly noble goal might be on this list. However, if you have seen Psycho Pass, you know that Makishima is utterly ruthless when it comes to achieving this goal. His heartless actions include slitting a young woman's throat in front of her best friend, inciting riots, and attempting to cut off his nation's food supply. Makishima's he doesn't care who he has to destroy to achieve his goals. 11. Yakumo Omori from Tokyo Ghoul. Literally nicknamed after the fictional murderer Jason Voorhees, Yakumo Jason Omori of Tokyo Ghoul is an enormous, physically powerful ghoul. While all ghouls must eat human flesh to survive, and are obliged to kill as a result, this guy takes it to the next level. After being brutally tortured, he dramatically changed his personality, becoming violent, sadistic, and willing to torture and kill just about anyone without a shred of remorse. 12. Light Yagami from Death Note. Light Yagami of Death Note starts off kind, but he quickly devolves into one of the coldest, cruelest dudes in anime history. While his goals are ostensibly rooted in creating a crime-free world, he does so through supernatural murders. Despite seemingly good intentions, Light quickly loses sight of his original goals and becomes obsessed with defeating all who oppose him. By the end, any compassion he once had is out the window.